Bangladesh has just wrapped up one of its most watched elections. Keenly watched for several reasons. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina held a media briefing and answered all those questions that perhaps have been asked multiple times in this election. And joining me now is, of course, Shyamul Datto, the General Secretary of the National Press Club and the editor of Bhorer Kagoj, and Tashmia, who's a first-time voter. And Tashmia, let me ask you, what do you do?
I'm also a journalist. I work for a Dhaka-based English daily newspaper, Daily People's Life.
All right. So we have two journalists, one seasoned and someone who's also voted for the first time, and someone who's younger from the younger age group. Shamulda, to you first. A lot of questions have been asked this time, and the Prime Minister answered all of those. But I think the biggest takeaway is the certificate this election has given Bangladesh's democracy, despite all the questions. Would you agree that because those questions were raised, that this is an even bigger certificate for Bangladesh's democracy?
That's a subjective perception actually. You know that in every democracy when an election held, there you can raise some questions on any issues. The problem is that a fragile democracy like Bangladesh, where democracy is growing slowly, so we have to think about on that perspective also, that this is an election and every 5 years there is election, and last three consecutive elections what we are seeing that there are some issues there. But this election, I will say this is very different in a sense. The whole election process was transparent and the participation was very good. Election was not intimidated by any quarters, and people have the chance to give their rights very freely. So in a sense, I will say what our Honorable Prime Minister said, that this is the day of changing, giving their verdict, and people have given their verdict on that day.
Thank you so much, Shamulda. Tashmia, to you. You voted for the first time, and I think the Prime Minister mentioned that a lot of people were interested in the elections this time. Was that the same for you?
Of course, it was the same, and it was not only. It was not that for me only. It was the same for many of my friends and colleagues. It was the same for many of my friends and colleagues, because she's like the current Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. She's like role model to many of us like me. So that is one reason, and also the socio-economic progress that Bangladesh has made. Bangladesh was once called it didn't have a good reputation worldwide, but the picture of Bangladesh has changed, and the people are looking at Bangladesh and we go everywhere with pride and joy that we are from this country. So that is what has been made possible due to the leadership of our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, and she has made all these changes. So of course that is another reason that a lot of people are being encouraged to participate in the election, cast their vote. And regarding the percentage of casting vote, I would say like the election happened for a day only, and the opposition party boycotted the election. Even though there was more than 40% vote casting, which is like a significant percentage, I would say. So,
Shamulda, now there's one question that I think stood out for me, and that was the fact that when somebody put the Prime Minister in the league of some great political personalities that we've known, and she's won a historic fifth term, she I think played it down. Was very humble about it.
She's very humble. She's very humble and she's very polite. She never saw her in a great leader. She saw her a man of grassroots. So that is her style. Actually, she came from a very political family. Her father was the father of the nation. So, but they are not in politics before her father assassinated in 1975. But due to some reason, he have to take the lead. But consecutively, she is leading this party for last 4 decades. And her consecutive third terms is very significant for this country, because her leadership is very visionary. She's seeing this country 20 years back, and some of the major challenges still is remaining in this country, especially the development issue.
And I think what stood out also, before I come back to you, Tashmia, I think what stood out for me is also that she, I think, was also talking about not just the past. She did mention the past, the history, the very painful history this family has been through, and her own experience of it. But she also, I think, was harping on the future.
That should be, because some of the major challenges of this country in 2026 the country will be in middle income country, and some of the challenges you have to face at that time. And the second stage of development, what she dreamed for these people of this country, that has to be a stage in within a few years, like 3-4 years. So she has some plan, and she said already, she mentioned about, especially some of the development project is undergoing on. So that has to be finished within, and the target for development and target of some of the issues has to be addressed within next government when she will go for within few days.
Shamalda, I'll come back to you on the foreign policy question, but Tashma, you said you are someone who's lived abroad, and I think that's an example of a lot of young people in Bangladesh, and that's a concern I think a lot of people like Shamalda have also about young people moving abroad and in this country. But you're back here, and tell me something. When you return, do you feel change? Because this is my first time in Dhaka, and from the moment I landed at the airport, the person who was driving us to our place of stay kept saying, "ये नया flyover हो रहा है, यहाँ पे देखुन दादा एखाने একটা एयरपोर्ट নতুন হচ্ছে, দেখুন এখানে নতুন মেট্রো হচ্ছে, দেখুন এখানে নতুন রাস্তা হচ্ছে, দেখুন এখানে নতুন রেল লাইন পাতা হচ্ছে." Does that, as a young person, young citizen, give you hope about your country and the path it's on?
Of course it does, because when we invite our foreign friends, we feel the pride, we feel the joy. Like the Dhaka city that we are living in currently, it has developed far from what it was before. Our current Prime Minister came into power in 2008, and after that the changes that were being brought by her, one after another. So every day there is a new challenge being resolved, new thing coming up. So there is new excitement in every single day you are passing through. So I would definitely say that Dhaka, the entire country, I would not only say Dhaka, the entire country, because there was Karnafuli Tunnel, there is
I was going to the Karnafuli Tunnel. Yes.
So whichever part you are going to, you will see the changes, and you will feel the joy of people, like how people's life is being benefited, how they are being affected. So you will see it everywhere. So it's not only Dhaka. So if you go to the other cities of this country, you will see the same everywhere.
Just stay with us, Tashmia. Before I come back to Shamalda, there's two key questions. Foreign policy. And I think she reiterated in very few simple words. I don't think I've heard a more simple explanation of foreign policy. It's a quite intricate matter. But the question I have is foreign policy with the United States. I think she was very sharp in her answer. She said that, we are friends with everyone. What your position is your view. And then I think she also on the election point. What is the issue with the United States?
That there is a perception that our Prime Minister is very open-minded. She speaks what in her mind. She's not diplomatic enough. She doesn't go for any diplomatic norm. She said whatever in his mind very clearly. About the United States, what she said, that is nothing new. She said more than that earlier. Especially, they are interfering our domestic issues. They are interfering our election process. Their future, their past role to even throw her from the power. That she categorically said earlier. Then it's nothing new. The problem is that why America is so critical about Bangladesh, especially about this government. I don't think that it is only the democracy that they want to see it here. They have some other agenda behind that. One thing is many discussion in the diplomatic arena that inclining too much towards China is a concern of the US. And in the Pacific strategy, you said that if you see that they want to control the Bay of Bengal and the Indian Oceans, and there is a Quad association, that 4 countries are there.
Quad.
So Bangladesh is saying that we are not giving anybody to anything individually. We will maintain a balanced foreign relationship, and that will maintain relationship every country. And the basic principle of foreign relations is a friendship with all Malay Sudan, which our father of the nation formulated even after the inception of this country.
And last question on the relationship with India. Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Hasina's relationship has been one which has seen the India-Bangladesh ties really prosper. There's a long way to go. India and Bangladesh collaboration can, go miles from here. But this continuity, do you think is going to see an acceleration in the pace of India-Bangladesh ties, and the ties will pick up even faster and things will move even faster now?
India is our trusted friend. We have seen their role in 1971. They have given shelter about 10 million people. And after that, there are some ups and downs in the Bangla relationship. After the death of father of the nation, the relation was not good. Even Bangladesh harboring a lot of insurgencies in Bangladesh, those who were doing some bad thing in India. So when she came to power in 2008, she said that my land will not be used for any other foreign terrorist here. Thousands of terrorist camp has been eloped from this country. And that was the basic relationship right now. And today I was reading a write-up of Mr. Pankaj Sharan in Deccan Herald about the new government is coming here, what should be the shape of the relationship. So he categorically mentioned that the security issue is the main concern of Indo-Bangla relationship right now. Because this government has ensured India that this country will not be used for any other terrorist organization. And they, you know that all this ULFA and some other terrorist organization, they have a basic base here. And it was eloped from all of them has to be handed over to India. And this is a new chapter of the relationship between Indo, and it will continue in the coming time, at what I believe.
Thank you so much, Shamulda. Before I end, Tashmia, the last question to you. As women role model in politics, there are very few to go by. Where do you place Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina as a young woman?
For me, she's number one.
Well, that's a good note to end on. Thank you so much, Tashmia and Shamulda, for joining us. This has been an election, like I said, that's been watched. We heard a young perspective and a seasoned perspective on India-Bangladesh relations. And this perhaps is a conversation that will continue as Bangladesh wraps up one of its most closely watched elections in history. We'll keep bringing you live videos from all aspects of news. Please do stay tuned to NDTV. Stay tuned to our Twitter, Facebook and YouTube platforms. Do subscribe to the NDTV YouTube platform for more such videos and perspectives like this one. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.